Hey there, it's Sunday morning, and I just released the video on building the banquette in my kitchen. Took a while to get that one done. About halfway through it, I started on kind of another project that was related to it, and it was the window, phony window, fake window, that I put in the wall behind it. You might see it in the picture. Well, you'll definitely see it in the thumbnail image. And it uses an old TV, and I trimmed around it with maple. And the maple trim is, you can remove it and, pull the TV out. And there's lots of ventilation there for it and everything like that. But yeah, so I got that out this morning. It was supposed to be out last weekend, technically, or at least that's what I was thinking I would do. Then I got tied up with other things and just let it slip. But it's out today, so yeah. Probably won't do well. I didn't jazz up the title or anything. I thought about several different thumbnails I could possibly use there. Like I was going to sit down in 4 different locations and then combine all those pictures together. So it looks like there's 4 of me, sitting on the bench. I didn't do that. I just took a straight up picture of it. And we'll see how it does. It'll do poorly. And you know what? It's hard to make it's hard to make a project that's going to get eyeballs anyway these days. Especially if you're if you're not putting that much time and attention into that specifically. As I mean, what this all is here now is not only coming up with the project and building it and filming it and editing the video, you also got to come up with this other stuff. And I talked about that in the last video. And it kind of ruins your enthusiasm for it a little bit. But yeah, it's a project. I got it out. And the next one, I'm pretty sure actually, is going to be the stools that will go with my island. I'm not sure yet, but I'm thinking that's what it's going to be. And that'll give me more horizontal surfaces to put more junk. Because right now, today, my kitchen island is covered with stuff. That banquette that I just built is mostly covered with stuff. Counters covered with stuff. All kinds of different stuff. Yeah, I'll let it build up, and then occasionally I'll bomb it by cleaning it up real good. Similar to what I did here in the workshop, actually, recently. I started building another speaker project, which you can see part of right here. This is the box, and it's painted this very nice, really dark blue color. And I got this by mixing what was left of the very dark blue I had used in my basement with black. A very small amount of black paint left in the can. I got enough, just enough to paint these things. And this is actually not the finish that I'm going with here. This is just a primer or a base coat for a vinyl wrap that I want to try out. The kind that you put on a car. It's actually an automotive product. That's what they sell it for anyway. And I wanted to try it out and see how it works. First of all, it's fairly inexpensive. It was $70 for a piece that's 5 feet wide and 9 feet long. That's quite big. And it'll easily cover both of these boxes here. And I think even the back panels, which are removable. And it's a matte black, all right, which is a very difficult paint finish to get. Because really what you need to do is paint black, a flat black, and then do a clear coat, a matte clear coat over it. And that can often change the color of the black. So yeah, matte black is kind of difficult to get in a paint, unless you go to a spray can and spraying, big surfaces like this with a spray can. You can do it. I'm not saying you can't, but it gets costly. And you wind up with something that's really thin. Whereas the vinyl is nice and thick, it stays good because it's made for outdoors, right? So anyway, that's enough about that. I got these boxes here, they're made. I got the baffles that are over here. Behind me, they're solid red oak. and they'll go on the front and have the speaker drivers in them. So yeah, that'll be coming up on my main channel. I'm also going to be making some kind of installment videos on my audio channel. I've already filmed, well, everything up until this point. So yeah, it's not like I'm on vacation here, guys. I'm doing other stuff. Stuff that I'm really more interested in or more hot for right now, okay? But yes, I'll be doing more working projects, and yes, I'll be doing more shop projects. One of those is going to be a new belt sander, a 6x48. Hang on, I'm going to get the belt. That looks like 24. Yeah, I think there's 6x48. I've had these for, I bought these at my last shop more than 10 years ago to build a sander from, and never got around to doing it, but yeah, I've got 2 belts to use to do it. So yeah, I was gonna do that at some point over the winter, I'm thinking, all right? Because I'm thinking about the possibility of moving my shop next year, although it's not firm, all right? I was gonna build another smaller, slightly smaller shop in the backyard. I know I've talked about this kind of thing before, but maybe this time I'm gonna do it, all right? And because it'd be nice to have my garage back. Well, it's not like I've ever had the garage here, because immediately after I moved in, I fixed it up on the inside to build a shop. But it would be nice to have a garage, because, okay, I bought a new snowblower the other day, because that's another thing I wanted to get, was a snowblower. I've been here 10 years, and shoveling snow has just gotten too old, okay? But the snowblower is sitting right outside my door there in the weather. Now, the weather, of course, won't hurt it, but I don't want to be sitting out there, because I might get up one morning and be gone. Someone will say, ooh, that looks like a new snowblower. I think I'll take it. Anyway, it's nothing fancy. It was the cheapest one they had. I'm not trying to say, well, I don't deserve a really good one, but I didn't splurge or anything. But it's sitting out there, outside. And speaking of that, I was out here last night and got locked in my shop. I went to leave, and the door wouldn't open. And wow, I was turning it and pushing it, and no way would that release. I even took apart the handle on the inside, because the screws are on the inside, and got in there with a pair of pliers to turn the lever thing, and no way would that come open. I had to kick it open, like Mannix in the old show, or the private detective that kicks in the door, the cop kicks in the door. I kicked it in, or kicked it out, because the door swings out, and broke it. I got some screws put in there to hold it back together, and I put duct tape over, well, not duct tape, but gaff tape over the hole, and I've got like something pushed up against it to keep it closed. Yeah, so that's basically what I got going on. The projects I'm thinking about doing, in particular the belt sander, that should be interesting for a lot of people. I was going to do it as simply as I could. And that's probably the advantage of waiting 10 years to do it, because my machine building skills have greatly improved since I first came here, or since I first, well, I can't say since I first started building machines. Well, yeah, I can, but I started building machines long before I went on YouTube. I built my first table saw, you can say, with a skill saw upside down, when I was like a teenager. And then I had this old radial arm saw that I took the head unit off of, and I made a table saw from that. Except it wasn't the induction type motor type, it was the universal motor, so it was really noisy and scary. So yeah, I didn't use that much. But yeah, I think if I was to build a belt sander now, I'd do it in a very sensible way. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to design. I don't think I'll make plans for it. I think I just make the tool. It depends on what I've got going on and how proud I am of the mechanism. I'm actually regretting not making plans for my bandsaw, because it's really well thought out and it really works well. And the thing about it that I like the most, well, other than using it, because it never lets me down, is the quick release that I came up with there. And also how easy it is to change the blade. I mean, you flick the two levers up, open the door, the tension is already released, because when I'm not using it, I release the tension kind of automatically. And slide the blade off, put the other blade on, adjust the blade guides, which are very easy to do, and away you go again. You know, tighten up the release and the tension, and use it. So, you know, before when I would dread changing the blade on my old bandsaw, it's kind of no big deal on this. It's like 5-minute job, less sometimes. You know, depends upon if I got to go looking for something, a wrench in particular to change to adjust the lower blade guide, the thrust bearing on there. I need a wrench for that. So if I had one thing to change about it, I would make that kind of, maybe I would put a knob on that so that you could do that with your fingers. You know, you get in there and turn, you know, almost like a star knob. Get in there and turn that with your fingers rather than go looking for a wrench, because that doesn't have to be bar tight or anything. So yeah, I kind of regret not making plans for that. So maybe I'll go back on that one of these days and make plans for it, and re-release the video when I do.